Because let me tell you, if you know certain words, it's going to rub the other person the wrong way. Don't use them in an argument.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Relationship Theory. It is so good to be back and live, and I am your co-host, Tom Bilyeu. I am here with the lovely and talented and amazing, beautiful person that I got to spend a lot of quality time with recently, Lisa Bilyeu.
All right, so the next question by Kevin M. Smith. Do you think that once a couple begins to get serious, that it is a good idea to discuss how they behave when they are upset or angry, what they need in order to resolve conflict, and ground rules for conflict is a good idea? ? And if ground rules is a good idea. Go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
100%. Got to have rules of engagement. I think the more areas that you have specific, discussed, and agreed upon rules of engagement, the better off you're going to be. That is so critical. And that's one of the things, like if somebody said, okay, beyond sort of the obvious things like compatibility and all that you guys have, like what's the secret to your longevity? I would say getting specific about what over communication means. So communication has for sure been the key. But the thing about our communication, like getting down into the weeds, is defining terms, creating rules of engagement, giving the keys to the kingdom. So keys to the kingdom, we already discussed, which is like telling the other person when you're emotionally sober, how to deal with you when you're not emotionally sober, and like what's going to be the thing that calms you down, gets you back to neutral. Defining terms, what does important mean? What does I promise mean? Like, what are those things? So that when the other person says it, like, and they think they're being super direct and you feel like, well, you never said. So those words need to be defined. You need to have sort of magic words, if you will. And then rules of engagement. Like, so how do we deal with X, Y, Z? And I think there's so many areas of your life that need that, certainly like conflict resolution, because somebody earlier had asked, like, I like to disengage, she wants to stay engaged. Like, how do we deal with that? And if you've agreed about it ahead of time, then it becomes much easier, because the other person knows, like you were saying, this isn't me like shutting down because I don't care. This is me, I need to get back to neutral so that this can be productive.
Right. And speaking of like love languages, right? What's going to rub someone the wrong way? Because let me tell you, if you know certain words, it's going to rub the other person the wrong way. Don't use them in an argument unless people actually want to do the dig.
Yeah, but then you're like just escalating things.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean, like understanding that person and the language that they use, so that if you are in that situation, like just don't use it.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And something that I think we've done a good job of, even when we're pissed. We don't jab at the other person.
Yeah. I think one time you said to me, you're being bitchy, and I got so upset. And you're like, but I didn't call you a bitch. Because I was like, you call me a bitch. And you're like, I didn't call you a bitch. I said you were being bitchy. And I was like, but even that, like, it really upset me.
Right.
And if you think, okay, rephrase the word, I think you're being mean. Okay, cool, I can live. But for whatever reason, for me, that word, I just don't like it. It made me feel like you were calling me a bitch, even though you weren't.
Right.
But I just owned up to that. And I was like, this word I don't like. And so you've obviously never said it again. And then it actually was interesting, though, to remind myself of like, why don't I like being called a bitch? Because being a bitch is not nice. But you know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminded me, like, okay.
What a shocking interpretation.
But you know what I mean? It then reminds you, like, don't do that because you don't want to be perceived like that because you don't like that word.
Right.
I don't know, it kind of has like a knock-on effect.
It's interesting. And I mean, I guess this is maybe like a power play thing, but if you were like, you're being a dick, it wouldn't have that. It's not a trigger for me.
Woman thing.
Yeah. I'm going to guess the answer is yes.
Yeah, I want to know if other female out there feel the
I
same
will tell
way.
you right now, yes, they do very much. And hashtag, again, I did not say she was a bitch, just for the record, because I can already feel this one spiraling out of control.
No, you didn't. Or even, and in fact, so speaking of, again, languages, the see you next Tuesday word.
Yeah.
It's the one word I'll never say. Like, and you've asked me.
Have you never said it?
I might have.
You would to like
I
get a
think I said it
sparkle in
once.
your eye to me?
Yeah, but I kind of did it like.
And you did?
I know.
Yeah.
I did. But here's the thing though, because you know that word, if you feel so strongly against a woman who has done something that is like that, you'll specifically use it to me and you'll emphasize it so that I know exactly how you feel.
Sure.